Sir, start now.
Good evening to all of you. Today we are going to be looking at a very important aspect, something which most of you are worried about. Right. Good evening to all of you. Let us start with something which most of you are worried about. Right. See, you are at a stage where you're looking for opportunities to join public sectors. Today's session is going to be focused on what are the different opportunities available to you, for which branches are the PSUs recruiting, what is the mode of recruitment of various PSUs, and then there is also a question, what is the age limit, what are the qualifications. In fact, I was going through one of the advertisements where they have specified that in 10th and 12th you should secure a minimum 65% aggregate average of all subjects in 10th and 12th mark sheet. Now this was something which came as a kind of a shocker. आज तक मैंने कभी देखा नहीं था कि 10th और 12th की परसेंटेज के लिए कोई लिमिटेशन स्पेसिफाई की जाती है रिक्रूटमेंट एड्स में. इट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई केम अक्रॉस. सो बाय वे ऑफ दिस सेशन आई एम ट्राइंग टू गिव यू एन इंसाइट इनटू द प्लेथोरा ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज अवेलेबल, different branches, obviously concentrating on branches like civil, computer science, mechanical, electrical, electronics, and instrumentation. These will be the branches where I'll be having most of the discussion. But yes, once in a while there will be some there are some recruitments which are made for environmental science. That is, if your gate code is ES, you are eligible for some very specified recruitments, or some organizations are recruiting specifically for environmental science. So by way of this session, we are going to be taking a walkthrough of the various opportunities, plus, as I said, criteria like age limit. Am I eligible for this? मिनिमम एज लिमिट तो सभी की एलिजिबिलिटी है, 18 से 21 साल है. ज्यादातर केसेस में मिनिमम एज लिमिट इज 18, एंड देन broadly 21. The only exception is engineering services exam, where you have to have a minimum age of 21 years as on the 1st of January of the year in which you are appearing for the exam. For example, ESC 2027 नोटिफिकेशन जिसका अभी सितंबर में आएगा, तो आप देखोगे कि वहां जो एज लिमिट प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं, जो कट ऑफ डेट है, डेट ऑफ बर्थ जो कट ऑफ डेट ऑफ है, दैट इज एज ऑन 1st of January 2027 you should be at least 21 years of age. But majority of the PSUs will not have any such issue in this case, because they are saying minimum age limit is 18. Maximum, of course, is what you have to be concerned about. At times it is 25, at times it's 27. See, it varies. 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. In state government jobs, it is even 40 in some cases. We will take a look at all these one by one. I hope whatever I'm saying is clearly getting disseminated by all of you, and there is no difficulty in understanding or comprehending whatever I'm saying. I'm not using any difficult words. बहुत सिंपल वर्ड्स मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ. बीच बीच में मैं हिंदी में भी बोलता रहूंगा ताकि कोई क्लैरिटी हो, कोई एम्बिग्विटी हो तो साथ साथ दूर होती चली जाए. राइट. I'll make use of a few slides which will be only for getting an idea, the focus of various components which we are going to be taking a look at, right? So let me just share that slideshow. Right. So let's take a look at what are the various modes by which the various PSUs are recruiting. There are broadly two ways. पहला तो है आपके गेट के स्कोर के बेस पे, बट गेट के स्कोर के बेस पे सिर्फ गेट स्कोर के बेस पे, या गेट स्कोर प्लस इंटरव्यू, या गेट स्कोर प्लस इंटरव्यू प्लस जीडी, या प्लस जीडीजीटी प्लस जीडीजीटी केस स्टडी. Any variant can be there, any of these variants. And then on the left hand side, you are seeing I have written exam score plus interview, or exam score plus interview plus GD, or GDGT, or GDGT case study. Both variants are there. I mean, you can look at it in this way, that gate score substituted with exam score. And when we are talking about exam score, this exam can be CBT, that means a computer based test, or it can be even offline. So whenever we are talking as exam or CBT, it can be interchangeably used for an offline exam also. Though presently majority of the organizations are conducting CBT, but there are one or two organizations who are conducting a pen and paper test, basically OMR based. All these exams are multiple choice. Gate obviously has different other connotations also. You have the numerical types and you have the multiple answers types questions in gate. That variety is not yet seen in the CBTs or the pen and paper OMR based exams, right? But then, yes, these are the different variants. On the next slide, we are getting a few. It's not an exhaustive list, it's a selective list, I would say, only using gate score. There are three organizations. There are three organizations which are giving the offer of appointment only on the basis of your gate score. NTPC being the most sought after, Airport Authority of India is the second one, and then NHIDCL, that is National Highway Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, which is a subsidiary of NHAI. This is the third organization where they are only looking at the gate score and they will offer you the appointment letter. About 5 years back, till about 5 years back, there were two more organizations. One was NHPC, and the second one was THDC, Terry Hydro Development Corporation. These two organizations also used to be making an offer directly on the basis of the gate score. Gate score देखा, top performers, apply आपने किया है, तो you are mailed the appointment letter. Simply send the appointment letter by mail to you with the place of posting, and that's the end of it. But nowadays, NHPC and THDC are not doing it. There is a variation in that selection process. The second row, gate score plus interview. I was talking about THDC not recruiting through the written exam only. अब देखो, यहां पे आके एक करेक्शन करनी पड़ गई मेरे को, because THDC is only conducting interview after based on the gate score shortlisting, right? The other organizations who are conducting only interview based on gate list shortlist is recruitment as senior field officer under the cabinet secretariat, right? That is essentially research and analysis wing, draw. BARC, based on gate score, they are doing the shortlisting, but they are conducting an exhaustive interview. NPCL again does a shortlisting based on the gate score, but followed by an interview. DRDO also does shortlisting based on gate score, followed by a hardcore technical interview. Now, BARC के केस में एक और एडिशन मैं करना चाहता हूं. The addition is that BARC is also conducting a CBT. देखा जाए तो ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है to those candidates who are not able to do so well in GATE, because CBT जो होता है BARC के लिए, that is conducted more than a month after the conduct of GATE. So if your GATE paper has not gone as per your expectation, you have the next 1.5 months in which to improve your preparation and make a cracking score in the CBT based on which they are doing the interview calls, right? Gate score plus group discussion plus interview. The organizations, two organizations which I have written here are, one is GAIL and the second one is NHPC. In the third category, we have gate score plus GD plus case study followed by interview. That is BPCL. Now, BPCL is not recruiting these days. They are only going to campuses. In fact, here also, I would like to remove the GD part because GD is not conducted by BPCL. They are only conducting a case study. Let me remove GD. Yes. See, it is like BPCL, the earlier they used to be recruiting only through GATE, shortlist, then they would conduct a case study. Case study was elimination round. After the case study elimination, they would conduct the first round of interviews, again elimination round, then the second round of interviews. Finally, the candidates who are finalized, they used to be informed on that very day that you are selected, go for the medical, and that's it. But nowadays they have modified. In fact, all the PSUs have modified that procedure. Earlier, a lot of PSUs used to do that. Even BARC, for that matter, used to do the same thing. They would give a pink slip or a yellow slip or a blue slip, which will be indicator that, okay, you are finally selected or you are not selected, but there is a possibility that you might get selected and so on. But BPCL nowadays is going predominantly to campuses and they have kind of put their gate-based recruitment on a hold. There is another organization which is Kerala-based, Trivandrum-based, Thiruvananthapuram-based, HLL Life Care. They are conducting a CBT. Then there is a pre-interview, preliminary interview. The candidates who clear the preliminary interview, they are made to go through a psychometric test. And those who finally get past psychometric test face the final interview and then the final selection list is drawn. This is again, the new element here is psychometric test. Psychometric test is not conducted by majority of the organizations. I have known only one or maximum two organizations who are conducting psychometric test, but by and large, they are they are shortlisting either based on gate score or based on the CBT. HLL Life Care is the only one where they are conducting a pre-interview, then a psychometric test, and then a final interview, right? So you have to keep this in mind. Then when we look at the selection based on CBT or the offline test mode, direct recruitment based only on CBT score, there are two organizations. One is Coal India Limited. It's the first time they have done this, that means from 2026 onwards only. And the second one is Faridabad Metropolitan Development Authority. They are recruiting based on their CBT, but they offer a direct appointment letter. There is no interview, nothing. But then a number of organizations who are conducting CBT, shortlisting based on your CBT score, followed by an interview. A selected list of PSUs which are coming in this category are ONGC, BHEL, BARC. BARC is in GATE as well as in CBT. BEL, Bharat Electronics Limited. BDL, Bharat Dynamics Limited. NFL, that is National Fertilizers Limited. RCFL, that is Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers Limited. RFCL, which is actually a joint venture of EIL and RCFL and one more organization. It is Ramagundam Fertilizer Corporation Limited. They are also doing the shortlist on the basis of CBT score, followed by an interview. CEL, which is Central Electronics Limited. This is a partial list of the organizations who are doing the shortlist based on CBT and follow it up with interview. Incidentally, ONGC earlier used to be doing recruitment through GATE. In fact, they switched over to gate-based recruitment from 2015 onwards till 2024. That means almost for a decade they were doing recruitment based on gate, but then 2025 onwards they have switched over to CBT, their own CBT, right? Organizations who are conducting GD and interview based on the shortlist by CB based on CBT score is CSL, that is Cochin Shipyard Limited, right? HPCL and IOCL, they are shortlisting based on the CBT score, उसके बाद ग्रुप डिस्कशन, उसके बाद ग्रुप टास्क और फिर इंटरव्यू. बट HPCL और IOCL के केस में दोनों में एक डिफरेंस है. डिफरेंस ये है कि HPCL में हर राउंड एलिमिनेशन राउंड है. GD is elimination round, group task is elimination round, interview is elimination round. All the rounds are elimination round. IOCL में elimination rounds नहीं है. Okay, so IOCL is everybody appears through all the stages and then finally composite merit list is made based on your performance in group discussion, group task and interview and obviously CBT score, and they arrive at a final merit list, right? IOCL has switched over to CBT from last year onwards only. SAIL has been doing the shortlist based on CBT only for a number of years. They shortlist based on CBT, followed by a group discussion, group task, and case study, and then the interview. None of these are elimination. GD, GT, case study, and interview, they are not elimination rounds. Everybody appears for all these. See, elimination round only is in case of HPCL, and as earlier I said, in case of HLL Life Care, right? IFCO is another organization which is doing a slightly different mode of recruitment now. They are conducting a first CBT which is unproctored, which means you appear for this CBT at your home, right? Those who make it past this stage, फिर एक proctored, that means invigilated CBT, that means at a center which is designated by IFCO. And those who finally make it through this proctored CBT, there is an interview and then the final appointment offers are given. So this is yet another variant which has been initiated, right? Summary kind of a sheet. On the left, you see that there are some numbers which are written. The numbers signify the weightage of the written test or the gate score. It's 85%, 80%, 75%, and the balance is made up by interview or interview plus GD or interview plus GD plus GT plus case study, etc. It varies from 15 to 25%. BHEL, for example, they have 80% weightage, 75% weightage of the written test score and 25% weightage of the interview. BARC and NPCL, there is zero weightage for the written test, 100% weightage for the interview. DRDO, again, zero weightage for the written test and 100% weightage for the interview. But of late, apparently for some of the positions, they are giving 75% weightage for the written test and 25% weightage for the interview, right? So the point is, variety of modes are followed for recruitment. Now, when I say HPCL, there is another subsidiary of HPCL. It's called HRRL, HPCL Rajasthan Refinery Limited. They are also conducting the same set of steps as HPCL is conducting. That means CBT followed by group discussion, case study, group task, and then interview, all being elimination rounds. And in fact, at times the GD is not there at all, right? So that's how it is being done. See, I don't know whether you have been observing or not. Various state pollution control boards, they are also doing recruitment. They are recruiting based on CBT followed by interview. And typically the disciplines for which they are recruiting are civil engineering, electrical engineering, and environmental studies. I have seen the advertisements of at least three pollution control boards. One is UPPCB, for which the interviews are likely to be starting in the last week of this month. We'll be conducting an interview guidance session for this. Madhya Pradesh Pollution Control Board, again for the same disciplines. Bihar Pollution Control Board, they have already completed the interview process. They are recruiting based on CBT followed by interview. Now, the interesting part about these PCB recruitments is the age limit is 40 years. As you will see in the coming few slides, the age limit varies from 25 years to 30 years for general category, and then, of course, relaxations as are applicable for the other categories. But for PCBs, the pollution control boards, the age limit is 40 with an additional 5 years relaxation if you are having the domicile of that state, right? Take a look at the percentage in BTech, the qualification requirement. Most of the organizations require 60% for open category. In fact, if you notice that there are three separate sets of entries with 60, 60, 60 followed by variables. IFCO, CIL, NFL, and MOIL. MOIL is Manganese Ore India Limited. These four organizations require 60% for open category, same for EWS and OBC non-creamy layer, but 55 for SC, ST, and persons with benchmark disability. EIL, HLL Life Care, ISRO, they require 65% minimum for the BTech qualification. NPCL and PGCL, they require 60% minimum percentage for all categories irrespective. NHPC again requires 60% for all categories, but 50% for persons with benchmark disability. DRDO does not specify percentage. DRDO says first division during graduation. That is what is the requirement. Okay. CL again has 55% requirement for all categories. NALCO has another variant coming in for us, 65% for open category, EWS and OBC NCL, but 55% for SC, ST and persons with benchmark disabilities. THTC requires 60% irrespective of the category. All right. There have been some questions, sir, electronics branch के लिए क्या क्या opportunities हैं? So now we are taking a look at which are the branches for which different PSUs are recruiting. Airport Authority of India, which is obviously the most desirable for a lot of you because there is no interview, they are recruiting for civil, electronics, electrical, and instrumentation, right? Once in a while, they may recruit for computer science and mechanical, but majority, it is CE, EC, EE, and IN. So somebody wrote, for EC graduates, what is the best way of getting a recruitment? Get a good GATE score and you get the offer letter from AAI, provided you are within the age limit. Bharat Electronics Limited, as I mentioned, they are conducting CBT, but they are recruiting for civil, computer science, electronics, electrical, and mechanical. BHEL is again CBT, but recruiting for civil, computer science, electrical, and mechanical. They don't recruit for electronics and instrumentation. Even if they recruit for electronics, it would be very, very rare. They have a power electronics division, incidentally, which started off in the year 1976 in Bangalore. On Mysore Road is their unit making the power semiconductors, the high current, high voltage SCRs. CIL, which is conducting CBT and giving direct offer, is recruiting for civil, computer science, electronics, electrical, and mechanical. But they are also recruiting people who are having industrial engineering as their background. Okay. EIL is recruiting for three disciplines, civil, electrical, and mechanical. And they also recruit for chemical. I'm not delving into that. DRDO is recruiting for multiple disciplines, civil, computer science, electronics, electrical, mechanical, aeronautical, chemical, plus physics, chemistry, and a whole lot of others. I have not covered that aspect. NHPC, based on CBT, is civil, electrical, and mechanical. These are the three disciplines for which NHPC is recruiting. IFCO is recruiting for all the 6 disciplines, that is civil, computer science, electronics, electrical, instrumentation, and mechanical. They also recruit for chemical. NHIDCL, that is the National Highway Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited, is recruiting only civil engineers. They are offering direct appointment letter. MEECEL. This is Mizoram's state venture, Mizoram State's venture. Let me show you the expanded form because I intentionally wrote it down. Sorry, it is not Mizoram, it is Meghalaya. Meghalaya Energy Corporation Limited is MEECL. They are also recruiting this year, and the branches for which they are recruiting is computer science and electrical. Okay. NPCL is recruiting for civil, electronics, electrical, and mechanical, and also chemical, right? THDC, that is Terry Hydro Development Corporation, is recruiting for civil, electronics. In fact, it is electronics and instrumentation, E and I. I have put it in the rightmost column. Electrical, obviously, yes, mechanical also. RCFL, that is Rashtriya Chemicals and Fertilizers, they are recruiting for electrical and instrumentation and chemical. And once in a while, they are recruiting for civil also. NFL CBT based recruitment is recruiting for civil, computer science, electrical, and mechanical. Plus, they also recruit for chemical and environmental science. But they are conducting their own CBT. PGCIL recruiting through GATE is recruiting for civil, computer science, electronics, and electrical. CEL, that is Central Electronics, is recruiting for computer science, electronics, and mechanical. HLL Life Care, which I mentioned earlier, is recruiting for all these branches. BARC is recruiting for not only these branches, but plus a whole lot of other branches. ISRO is recruiting based on GATE as well as CBT, right? GATE they recruited when they wanted to accelerate the recruitment process, but generally they are conducting their own CBT. They are recruiting in 2 modes. One set of recruitment is for research-based jobs, and the other set of recruitments is for their running jobs. Civil, electrical, instrumentation, and some mechanical jobs are non-research based, whereas computer science, electronics, and mechanical, the bulk of their recruitment is for research-based jobs. Like they are also recruiting for semiconductor complex, they're recruiting for PRL, that is physical research lab. Again, they are non-research based profiles for which they are recruiting. The civil engineers, the electrical engineers, and some electronics engineers. Okay. NALCO is recruiting electrical and mechanical engineers. UP Public Service Commission, UP Uttar Pradesh Public Service Commission, which is the interviewing authority, they are interviewing for the position of assistant engineer, and the branches for which they are recruiting are civil, electrical, and mechanical. And other state PSCs who are recruiting for the state engineering services are also conducting these, are also recruiting for similar branches, that is for civil, electrical, and mechanical. Generally, they don't recruit for electronics and instrumentation or computer science. So primarily the state public service commissions, who are the interviewing body, just like UPSC, the interviewing body for engineering services exam, the state PSC is the interviewing body for the state engineering services, SES, as we can talk about, right? There is a CBT followed by interview. There is no GD or anything. It's just the computer-based test based on which they call the candidates for interview. The age limit. This is one more concern area for a lot of you. The age limit is 27 years for open and EWS category for NFL, RCFL, Kochi Shipyard, Central Electronics, HLL Life Care. 3 years relaxation, which is standard for OBC non-creamy layer. 5 years relaxation for SC and ST. Wherever there are vacancies for persons with benchmark disabilities, the age limit gets extended by 10 years for every corresponding vacancy. Like, for example, if there are PWBD vacancies for in NFL, the age limit will be 37 years for general category candidates, or EWS candidates. It will be 40 years for OBC and CL, 42 years for SC and ST, which means an additional 10 years age relaxation is there. CIL age limit is 30, 33, 35. NHI DCL has a higher age limit. Direct appointment offer is given, but branch is only civil engineering. 34 years for open and EWS category, 37 years for OBC NCL, and 40 years for SC/ST category. MEECL has an age limit of 32 years for open and EWS. There are no vacancies for OBC NCL, and 37 years for SC and ST. BARC and NPCL have an age limit of 26 years for open and EWS category, 29 years for OBC NCL, and 31 years for SC/ST, with an additional 10 years for persons with benchmark disability. But the important part to be noted is there is no relaxation in terms of the cutoff for BARC based on category. NPCL does have a lower interview score cutoff for OBC and SC/ST categories. NHPC, the age limit is 30 years, just like in CIL, I could have clubbed it with that. So NHPC has an age limit of 30, 33, and 35 with 10 years relaxation for persons with benchmark disability. DRDO, one of the advertisements says age limit is 35 for general and EWS, with 3 years relaxation for OBC and 5 years relaxation for SC/ST, and an additional 10 years for PWBD. EIL is the lowest age, 25 years, 28 years, 30 years. PGCIL, ISRO, they have 28 years. But in case of ISRO, there are no relaxations for categories. PGCIL, there is a 3 years relaxation for OBC NCL and 5 years relaxation for SC/ST, right? But additional 5 years for, in case of ISRO, there is additional 5 years relaxations for physically handicapped category. Haryana Public Service Commission, 42 years the age limit and 5 years relaxation for Haryana OBC or SC or ST candidates. UPPSC, for the state engineering services, the age limit is 40 with a relaxation of 3 years and 5 years for OBC NCL and for SC/ST, with additional 15 years relaxation for persons with benchmark disabilities. BPSC, for the state engineering services, the age limit is 37 years for males, 40 years for females. As far as general and EWS is concerned, 40 years for OBC NCL and 42 years for SC/ST, and the same is for PWBD. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not an exhaustive list. Let me tell you once again, it is not an exhaustive list, right? Full forms I have already been talking about. Now, let me take up the questions which you have mentioned. Jitesh, I hope you have got the information related to the age limits. NTPC has already announced the recruitment based on the GATE score. IOCL, ONGC are conducting their own CBT based on which they are doing the shortlisting and then follow it up with this interview process. IOCL conducts GD and case study, or GT and case study, and then followed by interview, but no elimination. Shanaz Miraz, yes, definitely everybody wants a job at any cost, but then this was a curtain raiser to let you know what are the modes available to you for entry. NTPC has already given the release the advertisement for Gate 26 base, but they normally are recruiting late. Right now they have only released the second list. अभी तो 2025 के बेस के ऊपर सेकंड लिस्ट आई है, 2026 की रिक्रूटमेंट तो अभी टाइम लगेगा. गेट 26 मैकेनिकल से कौन सा पीएसयू आएगा? बेटा आपने ऑलरेडी लिस्ट तो देखा होगा विजय, इज इट नॉट? नाल्को इज रिक्रूटिंग थ्रू गेट ओनली, इट ऑब्वियसली इज कमिंग. MTech versus ESC preparation for civil, which is best? Sunny Kumar, it's purely a function of your abilities. But if the question is MTech के साथ साथ ईएससी प्रिपरेशन करना है तो एमटेक कौन सा डिसिप्लिन करना चाहिए और कहाँ करना चाहिए, तो माय सजेशन इज बी सिंह सर का पोस्ट गेट काउंसलिंग वाला सेशन वॉच करो, उसमें सारे आंसर्स आपको बहुत अच्छी तरह मिलेंगे. बट इन ब्रीफ, इन अ वेरी क्रिस्प फॉर्म, आई कैन टेल यू he would recommend you to go to either IIT BHU or IIT Roorkee if you want to carry on with your ESC preparation along with MTech. The reason is you'll find a lot of like-minded people. You'll find a lot of like-minded people there. Pass out year is generally kept by very few organizations. It is the age limit which is the cutoff. But organizations like EIL, they specify that we want the graduates of 25, 26 only for the 26 recruitment. But gate has to be 26, right? That is something which you have to keep in mind. So far, yes, very few PSUs have put up notifications, but it is continuing. It is continuing. Number of times, number of years we have seen that the vacancies come late. See, remember one thing, जो PSUs की vacancies हैं, they are based on the number of people who are retiring from year to year. See, the period 76 to 85 was a period of very high recruitments. The reason a lot of PSUs were getting formed. So 76 to 85 was a decade where the number of recruitments in PSUs was very high. So likewise, those who are attaining the age of retirement, they are getting replaced. So based on that, the vacancies keep going up or down year after year, right? Vijay, your question has been answered. Laksh, again, your question is addressed. After GATE, how to apply to these PSUs? हर पीएसयू अपना एडवर्टाइजमेंट रिलीज करता है. तो वंस फर्स्ट दे रिलीज द एड बिफोर द गेट एग्जाम, दैट इज द प्रिलिमिनरी एप्लीकेशन. You have to fill up that application before the gate exam has taken place or before the result is announced. They ask you to upload the gate result once the gate result has been announced, and they open a window for uploading that. BARC, for example, का रिक्रूटमेंट एडवर्टाइजमेंट बहुत पहले हो जाता है, बट वो गेट का रिजल्ट अपलोड करने के लिए एक विंडो स्पेसिफाई करते हैं. यू हैव टू अपलोड योर स्कोर, राइट? I am not handling questions related to MTech choices. There was a session conducted yesterday for COAP round 6 offers as well as for CCMT. We release notification regarding that in each one of our telegram groups. आप लोगों का काम है, आप लोगों को करना पड़ेगा ये तो, कि आप गूगल फॉर्म फिल करें प्लस जो अपने डिटेल्स हैं वो मेरे को मेल करें. बिकॉज आई कांट बी नॉकिंग एट एवरी डोर कि बेटा आ जाओ, बेटा आ जाओ. आपको ये तो इनिशिएट करना पड़ेगा ना. एंड आई इंटेंशनली सेट द टाइमिंग फॉर दीज डिस्कशंस आफ्टर 8 so that you are free, right? पीएसयू जो आ रहे हैं उनके लिए तैयारी करो, और अगर नहीं आ रहे हैं तो स्टेट इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज के लिए तैयारी करो. आई मीन द नंबर ऑफ जॉब्स आर नॉट रिड्यूसिंग पर से इन एब्सोल्यूट टोटलिटी. RRB is releasing lots of ads. In fact, yesterday only there was a statement by the railway minister. He is rationalizing the recruitments by Railway Recruitment Board and making it uniform, plus making it more regular in nature, so that there is a predefined timeline available and you are well prepared for the exams, right? JEE vacancies in PSUs are coming. For example, HPCL had come out with very major vacancies for diploma students. The other SSC JEE, lot of vacancies are coming. Yesterday was the last date for giving your preferences for the various options. Yasir Iqbal, where have you, in which PSU have you got shortlist, have you got BML? बेटा कर सकते हो, अपने जॉब के साथ साथ ईएससी की तैयारी करते रहो ताकि आपकी अर्निंग स्ट्रीम भी चालू रहे, प्लस आप ईएससी के लिए भी एलिजिबल हो. बिकॉज प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर ईएससी इज अ 2 year टाइमलाइन plus 1 year which is taken for गेटिंग द ज्वाइनिंग। तो 4 में से 3 साल तो आराम से निकल जाएंगे। 1 साल की का बॉन्ड देना है तो ठीक है, यू कीप सेविंग पार्ट ऑफ द अर्निंग फॉर पेइंग ऑफ द बॉन्ड मनी इफ रिक्वायर्ड, and if BML permits you to apply through proper channel, then even the bond is not required to be paid. Okay. See, to get information about the individual institute, individual NIT's placement data, the ideal thing would be to connect to seniors through LinkedIn. I will not be in a position to give you the pinpointed details of the placement statistics, no, because that is an information which is not shared by any of these institutes. So the best way for you to get that data will be using the LinkedIn mode. And students are very helpful. Students are very helpful because in the discussions which I'm having related to the COAP offers, number of students keep informing me, sir, I connected with a senior and he gave me this information about the placement scenario, and this he said this is better, this is not better. So obviously, the best source to get authentic background will be this information will be to connect using LinkedIn, right? Shubham is a mechanical engineer. Let me see what was the question that you had put in. हाँ, शुभम जेई मैकेनिकल का तो वैकेंसीज HPCL से आया ही था, काफी वैकेंसीज था, राइट? ललित, NTPC थ्रू गेट मिलेगा बेटा, आएगा, इस बार आना चाहिए। एक प्रिलिमिनरी एड तो उन्होंने ऑलरेडी रिलीज किया है। The detailed ad will come later because they are always going late. That's why. Lakshya, year gap between BTech and getting job is how much big factor? Not very big. I have known candidates getting selected in DRDO with as much as 8 years of gap. 8 years is not a small gap. No job for 8 years and getting selected in DRDO. That's something which is I know of candidate. 3-4 साल कोई इशू नहीं है बेटा, 3-4 साल कोई इशू नहीं है। ये आपकी एबिलिटी के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि हाउ यू आर एबल टू आर्टिकुलेट व्हाट हैव यू बीन डूइंग ड्यूरिंग दीज 4 years। दैट्स द थिंग। NHPC बेटा, आप लास्ट ईयर का टाइमलाइन देखो, अप्रोक्सीमेटली उसी के आसपास आएगा, बिकॉज दे आर रिक्रूटिंग बेस्ड ऑन गेट 2026 आफ्टर द थर्ड लिस्ट ऑफ गेट 25। अभी सेकेंड लिस्ट ऑफ गेट 25 आया है, तो अभी 3 महीने और लगेगा। IOCL will come through CBT only. They have already announced it. They have already announced it. Ladakh. I want to get into DRDO. What should be? There is no minimum score prescription, बेटा। बिना ब्रांच के तो वैसे भी कुछ नहीं बताया जा सकता। I think this year NTPC has released the short-term ad. That's why I'm saying they are coming this year. They are coming this year. Don't worry. Mechanical DRDO vacancies are relatively less. That you are aware. So for the cutoff, I think you should just go to the post-gate counseling for electrical engineers and you will get the information. I don't have it ready with me. Yeah, for mechanical, just watch the mechanical post-gate counseling and you'll be able to get the cutoff data. IIT Roorkee hydrology is a good option. Placements are reasonably okay. That's what I know. CBT exam is by and large similar for most of the PSUs. The biggest difference is CIL does not have negative marking. Please remember, those of you who are preparing for CIL, there is no negative marking in CBT. So just keep that aspect in mind. लक्ष्य, मैं 3 साल का गैप ऑलरेडी हो चुका है। मेरा सजेशन ये होगा कि किसी NIT में एंटर कर जाओ और साथ में तैयारी करते रहो। दैट्स इट। सेफ। गैप को भी एक्सप्लेन करना थोड़ा सा आसान हो जाता है। Nalco is likely to recruit for IN. There is a possibility. RCFL will be recruiting. RCFL and RFCL, they also recruit instrumentation engineers. NFL also recruits instrumentation engineers, but not regularly, once in a while. The cutoff data for airport authority civil is not available with me at the moment. I don't know what your name is, Curious Ajmer. Not a very significant bearing if your explanation for the gap is logically mentioned. I have already given examples of 8 years gap and getting selected. So you can imagine, 2-3 साल तो गैप माना ही नहीं जाता है ना. My suggestion to all of you is always stay tuned to the job box, because that is where we are instantly putting up the notifications about any advertisement which is released. We'll keep supplementing that information further with what is the focal area, what should be the focal area of your preparation. That is something which we can add there as a additional information, even before the interview process starts, right? Uh, I don't know what your name is, Kishore 9839. Chances of electrical engineer getting IN job is very remote. The reason is the organizations are requiring BTech with instrumentation, and based on that only they are doing the shortlisting. Electrical engineers getting shortlisted for instrumentation jobs is not very bright. But my suggestion will be focus on electrical jobs, because there are more electrical jobs than instrumentation jobs. Tejas Sinha, I think we are covering the non-tech part fairly exhaustively in our course that has been offered. So by and large, it will be gate oriented. The general studies part is something which needs to be given a careful look. Year back can affect in some PSUs, because year back, why it affects some PSUs is they say that your engineering should get completed in 4 years' time. If you had a back in the fourth semester, but you cleared it in the sixth semester, it will not be counted as a back. Only if your time of completion of engineering exceeds from 4 years to 5 years, there is a concern. That's the thing. UP Polytechnic lecturer ESC PYQs. PYQs give you a very good run. It covers almost the entire course very exhaustively, and it gives you that exam orientation. So solving PYQs of ESC can be a very helpful technique. ESC prelims, for subjective, obviously it's a different ballgame altogether, but because most of the organizations are not conducting a subjective paper now, they are only conducting multiple choice paper. So focus on PYQs of ESC prelims. But in case there are 2 stages of CBT, then in that case, you should also do PYQs of GATE. Driller through UPSC Mechanical, and I have got shortlisted for interview. Mr. 6341, please forward your call details to interviews@madeasy.in, enclosing the copy of the advertisement. We'll invite you for a discussion to make you perform well. Abhishek, hobby can be even walking, hobby can be even reading newspaper, hobby can be even watching TV. There is absolutely no problem. I'll give you a suggestion. Just watch the 20-minute clipping of the HPCL interview guidance video. I think it is starting from 1 hour 20 minutes onwards, and you'll get a good idea about the various hobbies that can be prepared. Just go through that clipping or send me a mail. I'll send you the clipping. I'll send you the link. You have my email ID. My email ID is dkarora@madeasy.in. Let me write in the chat box here. DK Arora at madeeasy.in. .in. Yes, interviews@medis.in. Right. I'll write down that also. Interviews at be careful that you don't make a typo error because it is made easy. MADEEASY .in. It is not .com, but it is .in. So please make a note of these. dkarora@madeasy.in is my email ID. Interviews@madeasy.in is the ID where you must respond as soon as you get any interview call from a PSU. We keep conducting interview guidance sessions on a very regular basis. So please take advantage of these sessions so that you don't miss out on the important tips. Kishore, please discuss it when you get both the offers. It is too early to talk about it. Scientist recruitment for ESC grade. For which organization, 7834? Which organization are you referring to? Are you talking about ISRO? Because the interview dates will be announced very soon now. They had revised the answer key. They have revised the shortlist candidate list. All government scientist job, it's a very open-ended question, very tough to answer. But 4 to 5 hours every day, if you devote on sharpening your test taking skills after having revised your theory, it should be more than adequate. Please feel free to write related to any job related hurdles that you are facing. You can write to interviews at Medis or you can write to me directly. There is absolutely no problem. Uh, Vijay, I think the online practice test series for PSUs from Medisi you could try. It would be a good option for you. But take every test in a very serious way. Maintain the timelines and work with most authentic devotion. PSU interviews language is not an issue. बट एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टिप मैं देना चाहता हूं आपको. आप लोग बोलने की प्रैक्टिस करनी शुरू कर दीजिए इफ यू वांट टू एक्सेल इन इंटरव्यूज. Read out aloud for about half an hour every day if you have any difficulty in speaking, because all your preparation is done using written work, not spoken work. You need to write, and only then you will be able to excel in the interview. BHEL जॉब के लिए कितनी तैयारी करनी होगी गेट के लेवल की? यस, गेट के लेवल की ही तैयारी करनी होगी बेटा BHEL के लिए. तो second year EC from BITS Mesra, tips for me for GATE. Ideally, and start preparing for GATE from your 5th semester or latest by 6th semester. Not later than that. 991, as soon as we get any information, we will definitely share. That sharing will be on our website, or that sharing will be through some sessions which I would schedule for sharing that kind of information. Any of the modes we will keep sharing with. But I only want you to do one thing. Must stay tuned to the Medisi official Telegram channel, because that is going to give you all these updates. Himanshu, defer your start of preparation from 5th semester onwards. थर्ड सेमेस्टर थोड़ा जल्दी हो जाता है। इसरो डीआरडीओ में काफी वैकेंसीज आता है बेटा। इसरो डीआरडीओ में दोनों में काफी वैकेंसीज आता है। Abhishek, in which year are you studying right now? Have you completed your BTech or you are in your fifth or sixth semester? Yes, the degree of difficulty is different. That's why perhaps you are finding it slightly difficult. You are completed. Okay. In that case, in which year did you complete, Abhishek? 2025. That means you would have completed the classroom course already. So in that case, ESC prelims is going to be in end of January. So maybe you can focus on ESC to begin with. With a year back, that means you joined BTech in 2020 but completed it in 2025. In that case, my suggestion will be to focus on ESC. ESC के ऊपर फोकस करो, गेट के ऊपर थोड़ा सा कम फोकस करो, बिकॉज ESC और स्टेट इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज में बैक का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता। ऑल राइट, ओके। Well, in case you have any more questions at any time, please note down the email IDs and send it by mail. You'll always get a reply. You'll always get a reply. Abhishek, diploma plus BTech there is no problem on that. But are you saying that you spent 3 years in diploma and then 5 years in BTech? Because this is not becoming clear. But irrespective, my suggestion will be to focus more on ESC because of one big limitation that you have. Fixed term employee. I don't understand by the term fixed term employee. Mukesh, where are you working at present and which branch? You should look at even lateral placements because PSUs are recruiting at a level higher than the entry level of engineering graduates. You can look at that also because 6 years experience is something which can be taken advantage of. 3 years diploma plus 4 years BTech. That means instead of completing your BTech in 3 years, you completed it in 4 years, 7 years back, which means to say after 10th, it is 7 years instead of 6 years. Am I correct in making that assumption? ONGC और IOCL दोनों इस बार रिक्रूट करेंगे, दोनों अपना CBT कंडक्ट करेंगे बेटा। Mukesh, explore the possibility of lateral recruitment in PSUs. Definitely you can make it. Definitely you can make it. Number of PSUs keep recruiting for keep announcing recruitments laterally. Abhishek, what is your present age in that case? 17 plus 7 is 24. Aditya, the PSUs that you can target definitely would include Bharat Electronics, Bharat Dynamics. Definitely, these are the two top names that I can think of. NPCL can be looked at, ISRO can be seen, BARC can be considered very seriously. These are the strongest contenders for EC. Airport Authority of India is there, DRDO is there. Then we have IFCO is also recruiting for recruiting electronics engineer. THDC is E&I. PGCL is recruiting electronics engineers. CL is recruiting electronics engineers. HLL Life Care, very few vacancies. But DARC, ISRO, DRDO, they are definitely big time recruiters. Kunal Kumar, the options will be limited for you because P&I is not a very preferred branch by majority of the PSUs. आपके लिए options काफी limited हो जाएंगी. HAL का recruitment काफी आता है बेटा. They recruit fairly large numbers and they recruit for electrical, mechanical, electronics, mechanical and electronics in a very big way every year. Abhishek, you are 24. Sincerest of suggestion is ESC के ऊपर फोकस करो और स्टेट इंजीनियरिंग सर्विसेज के ऊपर फोकस करो. आपका ब्रांच मैकेनिकल है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, निकाल लोगे. HAL is CBT. HAL is CBT followed by interview only. There is no GD. HAL has been conducting only CBTs. Abhishek, please note down my email ID and write down. Talking may not be possible, but you write to me and I keep conducting Zoom sessions for guiding on the career options. So we'll make give an invitation to you to join. HAL possible hai beta. HAL is in a big expansion mode. Okay, I think we'll close the session at this point. And I'm only hoping that this session is useful. My email ID once again is dkarora@medeasy.in. Let me write down in the on the slide. Let me write on this slide itself. This is one. And the second email ID which I wanted to give you people was right. Please make a note of these email IDs. Interviews at madeasy.in. You must write immediately as soon as you get an interview call. Let me write here itself. See, options through GATE are reducing. But preparation for GATE will enable you to perform well in the CBTs which are conducted by the PSUs. So GATE will be a generic term. CIL is a different ballgame altogether. The reason why CIL is a different ballgame altogether is because they are also including a component of GS. Plus, there is no negative marking. And traditionally, earlier what CIL used to do was 1 year they used to recruit through CBT and the other year they used to recruit through GATE. So, and the paper of CBT is generally very easy. Used to be, at least. Abhinav Raj, if you have work experience, you should only aim for lateral recruitments. Y through YT, I hope you have got the answer. Please feel free to write to me. I'll respond. I respond to every mail. There is not a single mail which is not responded to. And more often than not, I respond within 24 hours. Only rarely does the gap go beyond 24 hours. Okay. I think with this, we'll call it an end to today's session. Thank you very much. I hope it has been useful for you. And as I said, in case of any further queries, you can always write to me. Thank you once again. Best wishes. Have a great preparation ahead. Thank you.